I'm going to keep this review spoiler-free for Thor: Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi, starring Chris Hemsworth, Christian Bale, and Natalie Portman. Before I get started, I'll say that currently my favorite Marvel superhero is Thor, and all the characters associated with him. I love the Marvel cosmic universe the most, way more than the stories that take place on Earth. So I might be a little biased. But first and foremost, I love the design, the art direction, the costumes, the sets. I love everything about the world in Thor: Love and Thunder. It just all looks so good. It's so appealing to me. So much so that I would like to buy the art book for this, if there is one. Really would like to see the whole process of creating it. What are some of the important aspects of Marvel movies? The action. And the action in this is pretty good. It's not the best action in the Marvel universe, but it was good enough. It's exciting, but definitely not one of the best. I also thought the comedy was funny enough, but there were some jokes that went on maybe a little too long that I wouldn't have minded if they were just a little bit funnier because they pop up several times in the movie. But there were also a lot of things that did genuinely make me laugh. And Chris Hemsworth is a very good comedic actor. He's great as Thor. He's perfected it. And most of the other actors were good enough with the comedy as well. And it wasn't so much their delivery with the jokes that didn't land with me, it was more about the writing. And maybe the way it was edited or the timing. I thought Natalie Portman was actually very good as Jane Foster. Better than I expected. I actually quite like what they did with her. Tessa Thompson was also good. I like that she came back. Taika Waititi as Korg was also alright. Perfectly serviceable secondary characters. But I have to say that Christian Bale was excellent as Gore the God Butcher. His portrayal kind of caught me off guard, but I liked it. He was evil, he was menacing, and he just looked really cool. His powers were cool, and I especially liked his motivation. I don't blame him for doing what he's doing. I kind of agree with him, and that to me makes the best kind of villains, where you can really understand why they're doing what they're doing. I'll say that he is maybe one of my favorite Marvel villains so far. I also thought the use of music was excellent throughout, really made the action scenes more exciting, and the direction and cinematography, the whole craft of movie making was pretty good, except for I am not sure if this was just my movie theater, but a couple of scenes seemed a little too dark. But I have a feeling that was just my movie theater. Let me know if you went to go watch this, if you had the same experience where certain scenes just didn't look right because they just seemed a little too dark, to the point where some of the faces were a little bit lost. And not exactly hard to follow, but something seemed off. And it wasn't even in the black and white scenes. I thought those scenes were actually very beautiful. Would I say that it's better than Thor Ragnarok? I really couldn't say. Right now, if I had to choose, I would say I liked this better than Thor Ragnarok, but probably because it's just fresh in my mind. And Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel movies. Top 5, for sure. And I think this is at least on the same level, if maybe not a little bit better. That said, I do feel like maybe it should have been a little bit longer, maybe 30 minutes longer. It's already, long at 2 hours, but I think it could have used another 30 minutes just to flesh out some of the characters a little bit more. There are definitely some cameos in here. I won't say who they are, but I liked most of them. And the thing it did the best, which is my number one criteria for me on whether I'm gonna like a movie or just not like it so much, is the ending. I think this really stuck the ending, one of my favorite endings in the Marvel Universe. I walked out very satisfied with the movie watching experience. So I would say, if I were to rate this from 1 to 10, as a Marvel movie, as a Thor movie, I think it did what it needed to and was better than expected, and I would give it a 9 out of 10. I really liked Thor: Love and Thunder.